Welcome to Momentum Trading Group morning routine. Just want to kind of go over just a few things for you, just so you can understand kind of a ritual that you should follow every single morning as you're getting up and looking at the markets. Typical pre-morning routine, a couple of things to remember is that it's all about physiology or biology as well as psychology. So even though you're just turning on systems and letting them come into this, any trader, you got to prepare for the market just like you would anything else. So first thing, always make sure that you get some form of light exercise just to kind of wake up your body, take a shower, uh, make sure you're well hydrated. Um, I think it's also important to eat. Stay away from too many carbs first thing in the morning, just because that tends to make you a little lethargic, a little bit sleepy. But just get some good food in you, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Um, Make sure you got a good night's sleep the night before. If for me, if I'm any less than 6 hours, I typically won't trade that day. Some people that may vary a little bit, but 5 to 6 hours for me is going to be generally pretty good. I'm going to feel, I may be tired a little bit later in the day, but um, I should be fine. So, very first thing you do whenever you wake up, you've eaten, you've gone through that whole thing, you've showered, you've gotten dressed, all of that stuff. You've done some light exercise. What I mean by that is typically just go walking or maybe for a run or light jog. Duration, it's not, this isn't like your workout time because that will actually make you fairly tired. So I would just encourage you, to 5-10 minutes, hop on a treadmill, go outside. Um, Also, some type of like clearing your mind. I know a lot of people like yoga or stretching or maybe meditation or something like that. It's always good to come into it with a clear mindset. Some other people will have affirmations or sayings that they use. I currently have one that I read every single morning, and I'm just going to pull that up for you here. Let's see if I've got it pulled up already. I'll show you guys that. Let's see here. Where is it? It's right here. So I read this every single morning. Some people, if you don't have, believe in God, you can put other things in there, universe, whatever. But this is just a small saying that I say every single morning. In this very moment, the presence of God is the essence that saturates all that is with its being. It is expansive, inclusive, and infinite in scope. It is the very principle of posterity, growth, expansion, and creation. The power resides with me during my trading. May all my choices, actions, responsibilities, and training are guided by the highest wisdom and power. It works in being in it. It its work is being done through me with joy and ease. Trading is a beautiful and fulfilling process and animates my guiding spirit. All is well. This is how it is right now. There's no waiting for this truth to be known. For this moment forward, all of the happenings in my trading is this truth being known in if form. For this, I am grateful and simply move out of the way and let it unfold as it is. So that's a typical uh, kind of get myself in the mindset. As I'm trading, I also have 4 affirmations that I say with this: wealth, health, love, success, wealth, health, love, success. So I say that, I repeat that over and over and over again throughout the day as well. So find out what works for you. A lot of people are kind of into that whole thing, positive thinking. So just something to be aware of as you're going through this. Uh, Once I've gone through that kind of my rituals in the morning, first thing I do is I always look at news. Very first thing you're going to see here is we have unemployment claims. This is if you go to forexfactory.com and then go to their calendar, you can just select the calendar there. And this is going to bring up all of the calendar information. The clock is going to be set to whatever clock is on your computer. So you should have a pretty good, easy feel for what's going on. So here is Wednesday, which is going to be today. You can see a lot of this stuff was overnight, or excuse me, Thursday. Uh, so you can see right here, this was all of the stuff that's happened overnight, different currencies. We're going to take a look at that in just 1 second. But unemployment claims, if you have any questions on what that is, you can just click on the little thing over here and it'll give you a basic description of unemployment claims. So knowing pre-market, hour before the market, you're going to have unemployment claims coming out. Crude inventories is going to be our next major one. Job openings is going to be another one. It's kind of what they refer to as the second tier number, medium impact. Crude, again, medium impact. And then Yellen's going to be speaking at 10:45, as well as Plosser. So you can see here's a couple of Fed chairmen speaking here, U.S. Federal budget balance, I know this is in yellow, but this is actually can be a mover. So you can see here kind of noon, midday, there could possibly be some movers. So we'll keep our eye on that. I've also got some things that are going to affect the Canadian dollar, and then you've got another Fed speaker later in the day, kind of right at the close. So just some things to be aware of. We're anticipating a lot of volatility today. How that manages trades, we're going to do that in just 1 second, kind of go over that whole process. But this is the first thing, and normally what I'll do is just write down the time. So knowing here in the next 45 minutes, we're going to have unemployment claims. Then we know that we've got the Fed chair and other things coming out. So I'll normally just write those down or just keep that calendar open. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to look at the carry trade. So I'm going to get a feel for what is our Forex markets doing? What exactly are we seeing? And what I've done is I've gone to a 30-minute chart and I've kind of pre-drawn some lines here. But you can see roughly this is kind of the range that we've been trading in. Yeah, we've traded a little bit lower, but as of right now, really this upper range here is really where we're trading. You go to a 5-minute chart. This is where I'm going to be viewing this and saying, okay, well, where are we moving average? Our purple moving average is sideways. Our blue and red are slightly down. We've got good support here at that 115.44.9 or 145. So we're kind of in this range of this 115.8250 by 115.44.9 is kind of our current range. So we have more potential to go to the upside here. We'll see if this thing does, but risk to reward, we have more room to the upside. This also, if you were to go back to a 30-minute chart, we have been on a pretty good uptrend. Currencies tend to go up and then base sideways, break out, base sideways, so that tends to be their pattern. Now let's go look at the S&P and NASDAQ and get a feel for what's going on there. All right, so the first one we're going to pull up here is we're just going to compare our NASDAQ, which is our momentum market. Overnight, you can see, again, this is a 30-minute chart. So yesterday's close was right in here, excuse me. You can see we've had a pretty nice little move in the overnight session as it stands right now. So definitely in an uptrend. If you come over here to the left corner, you can see where you can go to horizontal line. You can see right through here. It's kind of a key level. We don't know if we're currently hitting some resistance, but this could possibly be some resistance right there. But you can see clearly on a major uptrend here. So right through here is going to be our current support level. Old resistance becomes new support. See how it came up, hit its head, pulled back, came up and hit its head. So I'm going to zoom in real quickly here, and we're going to take a closer look at this. There we go. So you can see how you had this leg higher, this pullback, and then this second leg higher. This is the movement that we want to focus on when we go to the 5-minute and really get a feel for what the, you can see this movement here. So we're going to pull some Fibonacci's. Now, in pulling fibs, what we're going to do is we're going to take the pivot low, which is that level there. We're going to run that all the way up to this high here. And you can see we've kind of come back into this zone. So if I'm looking at this trade, I'm going to zoom out again on a 5-minute here. Just come out just a little bit here. So this being support and resistance, you can see how we're clearly on an uptrend. But if I'm looking for possible areas for this to come into for a buy zone, I'm going to put a little box. I really like it right down in this range. So that's where pre-market, if we can get a move down here, you know, maybe say unemployment comes down, gives us some volatility, we get a nice little push here. This could be some potential trades down through here. But you can see as of right now, we've kind of come back to almost this 50%. We're starting to bounce off that. So again, we're anticipating quite a bit of volatility here. But that's how I would determine kind of my sweet spot or my box on the S&P. So let's do the same thing on the NASDAQ. Or excuse me, that was the NASDAQ. Here's the S&P here. So if I'm coming in and drawing lines, I'm looking for consistency. So you can see right through here, that's kind of our current level. When that was support, we had resistance right there. So remember, resistance being the ceiling, support being the floor. So that's kind of our current levels. So if I go ahead and zoom in here, let's zoom in. Again, same pattern, rally up, pulled back, broke out. So we would look at pulling some Fibonacci's off this level here. So we go to our 5-minute chart. Again, looking at our range here, we're going to go ahead and pull some fibs. See how we came right back into this zone, very similar on that pullback there. So again, this is kind of our sweet spot. But if you notice from peak to valley, if we take these highs here and we compare that to our range, we're actually in the upper third. Even though we're on an uptrend here, we're pretty extended. So those would be kind of some preliminary places that I'd like to see that. If you would have seen my boxes yesterday, I liked the 32 level. So right through here, this is where I liked the pullback relative to this impulse. I like this pullback. So you can see how it kind of chewed sideways and then it gave us a drop before the rally into the close. Those are the types of things that I look for when I'm doing my analysis. I'm trying to just get a feel for what we anticipate. But you can see moving averages are all sloping up. Short-term trend is down, which is what we want. Medium-term trend is sideways with a long-term uptrend. So getting a pullback somewhere into this range for this thing to scale higher would be our ideal scenario. So anything really above the 2037 half price is still going to be bullish for us. So this thing could pull back another 3 to 4 points and we still have a bullish posture on this. Even though this we do definitely have some resistance here, but we'll keep our eye on it. Like I said, we've got news here in about 40 minutes. So that just kind of gives you an idea of just how we get set up for the morning and what we look for as far as a routine goes. Because of our trend, we do anticipate this pushing higher, even though we are coming down a little bit right now. This just gives us a lower risk entry. What we mean by that is risk to reward. If we get this down into this range down here, that gives us risk to reward much higher upside than what we would have downside. So again, if we're looking at a 1 minute for an entry, you can see how we're still below all our moving averages. So we'd want to see this thing start to climb back higher still. So we'll probably see more volatility pick up here in the next, like I said, 30 plus minutes. So look forward to seeing you guys in the live trading room.